Hello everyone, it's Farkit here, and in this video, I'm going to start a series on going over problems with Sons of the Forest. I thought about calling it Problems of the Forest, but that doesn't really make sense because not the forest, this is Sons of the Forest. I don't know, if you come up with a better name, let me know in the comments. But I'm going to go over in this series things that are wrong with the game or I feel are wrong or need attention or need fixing. Apologies for the video being late, I am still sick, it's been 4 weeks, I'm not getting better. Pretty scary, but hopefully I do get better. It's not the cocoa either. Already checked that. Anyway, let's get into it. So one of the major issues I have with the game is the limited amount of building spots due to winter in the game. Now, what winter does is a lot of things. It makes it snow and things get cold. So what that means is static water sources such as ponds, lakes, your water collectors, etc. become frozen. The only thing that doesn't freeze is the ocean and rivers. So this isn't a problem providing you build near a river. However, there's only so many rivers in the game, which unfortunately will limit the amount of building spaces there are. So originally in my season 2, I started on this little mountain thing here. As you can see, I thought this was going to be a great place to build. Unfortunately, during winter and on hard survival, the pond freezes over. For some reason, this one hasn't frozen over. Why hasn't it frozen over? All the other ponds have. That's strange. So I go down to this one's frozen. So when I was playing and this was freezing over, because it was, I had to take the zipline system here, go down here, and then to the next one, down to here, and get my water from here. And on hard survival, you'll drink about 2 stews a day. So you need to run this trip twice. It's not very fun. Now, what are the water sources in the game? Well, there's a couple. I'll add all items just to show you. So your water sources are your water bottle, which you need to fill up and boil, otherwise it's terrible. You got your cans of soft drink and the pot if you've got water in it, as well as stews. And that appears to be it. Berries do give you 1 hydration and 1 food, but you only get 20. And the amount it drains and the time it takes to eat these things, it will probably drain faster than you can consume them. It would be close. You cannot drink booze currently. You can mod it in that it can be drunk, but how would you modify that? Because alcohol can dehydrate you, I believe. I'm not going into details with that one. So if you build near a pond or a lake during winter, it freezes over, so you have to go to another place to get your water. I was lucky in this spot here because the river was actually quite close, but some places don't have a river for a long way away. This issue doesn't affect normal and hard as much as it does hard survival, but it's still annoying due to the limited amount of water sources there are. As you can see from my water collectors, the water's already frozen. If you keep it inside next to a fire, it doesn't affect it. It still just freezes over. So what this problem does is it really limits building spots. Unless you are very well thought out and planned that you do everything during the warmer months, the 9 months of summer, autumn, spring, and then you go out and adventure during the winter, so you don't really need to be at home. I think seasons last a few days, 3 or 4 days, I think. But not all of us are like that. In that situation, the game's forcing you to do something. Another issue I'm not particularly fond of is at the bottom of waterfalls in certain places, such as here where the yachts are. This would actually be a pretty good place to build, but you cannot fill up your pot from here. Got an empty pot. If I sit underneath it, this would be semi-fresh water. It wouldn't be, you still have to boil it. I agree with that, but you can't fill it up. This is connecting to the ocean, so it would be salted water. This comes out of the mountain. It seems there's no river up here. And just to show you, you cannot get water when it's frozen over. Now, time for some solutions. One I do have, I don't know how good it is a pickaxe and to hit it and to get chunks of ice. Now, I should disclose, I've never lived in a climate that has snow. I live in Australia. It doesn't snow here. So I never have to experience this. I've seen snow like once and it wasn't real snow. It was more like ice. So I don't know how realistic a lot of my methods are going to be. I'm sure people in the comments would be able to come up with better methods. Or in night themselves, as they are in Canada. They know what snow's like. There's this, but unfortunately the pickaxe is something you have to go get, and it's more of like a mid-tier game item. It's not going to serve you too well after like the first 15 sleeps and now it's winter kind of thing. I think that's how long it takes. So then you grab the chunks of ice, put it in a pot, and then boil the water. So that's one solution. Another possible solution would be just to grab chunks of snow and put it in the pot and then boil it. I don't know how well that will work. I'm pretty sure snow is actually quite dirty, I think. So it wouldn't be the cleanest form of water. That wouldn't make it too easy to get water. Actually make it easier during winter to get water than any other month. But that is possibly a solution. The next is desalination of salt water, because this would be salt water. You can't drink this normally. Though you need a method of distillation. I've been doing this with alcohol recently in real life. It is slow, but it does work. But how they would introduce such a thing, I don't know how they'll do that. Need the tubes or pipes and stuff to heat the water so it can transfer into another container without the minerals and stuff. The problem also with distilled water is that it removes all the minerals, not just the bad ones like salt. Well, excessive amounts of salt, a little bit of salt's good, and leaves you with nothing in it. So your body can't really absorb it. If you've got really good water filters, you can filter salt water, but I don't know how well that works. I've never tried it. This is advice for the game, not real life. Don't try any of this stuff. I just noticed that if it was winter, these great whites wouldn't be hanging around. I'm pretty sure they're great whites. They go to warmer waters. So possibly during winter, sharks should disappear. Would be a realistic thing. So if you ask me, Australia's land isn't that dangerous. It's the sea that's dangerous. You should see what's in the sea around Australia. Anyway, that's off topic. A solution is possibly building a fire underneath a water collector and just heating it up that way. And that way it keeps it fresh and not frozen. Seems a bit tedious though. Another solution could be a water storage tank. I had an idea of some planks of wood and using sap, but they never added sap to the game to seal the cracks. And then you could fill it up with clean water during the warmer months, or even something like what Green Hell does with charcoal. Charcoal's absolutely brilliant for filtering. In most cases, I think. So when you're burning a fire, they could add charcoal as a new item, though due to the amount of items the game already has, I'm hesitant to recommend adding new items. Charcoal could allow for filtration, making gunpowder if they want to go down that route, and also sap could allow for making buildings blueprints that could seal, so you could store things like the water and that. Maybe something like a forge. Using solifite, because it creates energy, you could use it to heat up things to stop the water from freezing. But it could increase your chance of being attacked by mutants. There's a lot of ways they can do it. Now, this is something I forgot, so I'm adding it later now, is that you can use these pools that are up in the mountains. They're like thermal pools. So they never freeze over, but it's always snowing here, so it is a elevated difficulty in these areas. If you build your house over it, you will get heated from it, so it's actually not a bad idea. It's something I plan on doing, testing out, that sort of thing. I believe there's only 2 of them, though. I'm hoping that they work on this because this is a cool idea. It's just a shame it's being barely implemented. But yes, until this issue is addressed, I don't see it viable not building near a river. And building near a river is fine, except for the noise it creates. It does get a bit noisy. In my Season 2 playthrough, I build near a river. It's right next to me, and the sound of it drowns out attacks. So enemies have been attacking my walls sometimes, and I haven't heard it. Anyway, let me know what you think could be a good fix for this problem. I don't know if it's on End Knight's priority list. I've raised it before. They're doing well still. Anyway, if you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe. Cheers.